can continue. Keeping the hype up about that. So yeah.
Streaming is on.
Thank you. Let's see, what else was there? Oh yeah, and then placing another big priority for the communications team this week is, really our Give token economy and our give backs, narratives and key messaging. And then we did a great brainstorm last week as a communication circle of, okay, kind of calendaring out the coming months and how do we keep the momentum going around the Giveth.io launch, and building excitement. So we've got some great posts and campaigns scheduled, and we also are in progress on writing like 2 to 3 additional new pieces, and getting those scheduled. So yeah, there's lots to come and roll out, and we look forward to sharing that with you. I will pass the mic to you. Well, I guess if anyone has any questions or anything else they'd like to add around communications, now is a good time before we jump over to governance. Okay, cool. If there isn't anything, then I will pass the mic to you, Danny, to go over the governance section, if you like.
Sweet. So I'll just be pretty brief. There's a link here to our, there it is, if I click on it. This is the link to our dashboard. Let me just jump back so I can talk about this. So there's 2 proposals that have passed. Number 14, the donor airdrop recipient list, that one has been passed. And then the second one is the one that's kind of relevant. A decision was made. Number 15 allows anyone to create a vote on the Giveth RDAO. So anyone in the team who has something that you would like to get token holders of reputation with Giveth to make a decision on, you can go to the Aragon One Hive link and you can create a vote. And then remember, once you create that vote, you want to go to Discord to the DAO channel and say, hey, I made a vote. You can use the @DAO to notify current token holders that there is a vote to go vote on, and build the commitment to that. And then there is one that I created subsequent to that. Number 16 is for 2021 Q1 token distribution. So we want to make our second issuance on reputation tokens to reward those who have been continuing to contribute since the initial hatch, if you will. And then those who have been participating consistently, we dropped it down from 6 months to 3 months. After 3 months, you can create, you don't have to create a proposal this first quarter because I made the proposal for you. So if you want to look at the contribution spreadsheet, basically what I did is I went through and tracked everybody's cred that you've received over the months. And then when we started dishing praise, I started tracking praise. What I don't have is participation in meetings and things like that aren't on here. But basically anybody who has been participating consistently, let's see, in the cred over time, every community member is listed on here. There are, if I scroll down just to give you an idea, the 36 team members have been participating since we resumed from the break. And I put yeses next to everybody who has been participating consistently for the last 3 months plus, if you've been continuing. So those are all the folks that were proposing doing another distribution. The second one would be 2222. And I'm just kind of proposing that each month, maybe we up that, or each quarter. So this is the list of everybody who received it initially, whether they qualify again for the second distribution, and then folks who were not part of the initial distribution but qualify for it now. So that vote is up there. You can go see it. And I'll go add that onto the Discord and let you know. Question I guess I would have is, are there any other proposals forthcoming? And there's some things that I want us to think about, which is especially around GitHub issues for design changes. I know that as we receive feature requests and ideas, we should be thinking about a way to identify when GitHub requests for changes are something that should go to the community to decide, and what process we want for that. I don't know that we need to discuss it right now, but it's definitely something that's been on my mind for the last couple of weeks, especially as I have some suggestions that I would like to be able to get the advice process on folks and make a good, clean decision to give to the devs that, yes, this has been approved and we should do it. We can probably talk about that more in the governance meeting. I guess that would be a topic to talk about tomorrow. Yeah, that's all I have. Let me know if you have any questions. If not, we can move on to the Giveth token economy.
Hooray. Awesome. So some updates around the Give token. Sprint 4 is in progress and will be wrapping like mid this week. Unfortunately, our lead dev, our DApp node partner, he and his wife are not feeling well and taking care of some personal health stuff around COVID. So a lot of that work on smart contracts and the UX is on pause at the moment, understandably so. We have been in the process of onboarding our new team member, Fabio, who is managed by Marco, and he's getting to work on a whole bunch of GitHub issues from us. I have a one-on-one this week with Marco to sync on reviewing his like design progress and direction, and just collaborate a bit. We've made really great progress on the Giveth side in a few different ways. One on the give back spec for the MVP vision. We've gotten some feedback from Fabio that he's reviewed and working on implementing that. Also, Bowen has really been kicking ass, leading the charge on the airdrops. And then the team has been really collaboratively hacking on the structure and strategy of how that will roll out. And the communications team, again, as I mentioned earlier, beginning this week to really prioritize the narratives and the key messaging content around the Give token and around the give backs, which is, developing further and further. I think I had some other stuff in here, but maybe it got wiped. Griff or Willie, do you have anything else that you'd like to add around the Give token?
I think that was a really good comprehensive update on past week. I guess one thing I'll say is that, I'm really excited about it, and seeing how like people are already donating without the Giveth token, without that extra incentive. Just imagine how many donations we're going to see once we have the Give token there as well. So even more excited than we're last week.
A great point, Willie. Thank you.
The only update I'd add is Fabio has at least started looking at it, and he hopes to make some progress this week on calculating, basically validating the spec in a more full way and understanding, making sure we don't have to add anything else to Giveth to calculate givebacks. So that should happen this week. Worst case next week. And then Bowen,
Awesome.
Bowen, Danny, I don't know if you saw what do you call it? The doodle pull, but Bowen and Kai also. Have you seen the doodle pull? For contributors, it'd just be really good if we could all sync up and like for past contributors and try to back our brains, and figure out how to distribute tokens to the people who have contributed in the past. And there's a doodle poll for for that. Hopefully, we'll also get to hang out with Chris, maybe Lorelai. Who knows? Some old Givethers. It will be really fun.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely filled out that poll, and I've been thinking about that as I fill out that spreadsheet for RDAO, that there's information in there that would help us with that a little bit.
Yep. Thank you, Bowen, for leading the charge on those things. Okay, that's it. Thanks, Forrest.
Thank you. Okay. So now we will jump on over to the application updates, issues, requests. So I believe that the Middle East team is returning from their New Year vacation this week. Happy New Year. Felicidad. Amin, would you like to take the mic and share any updates from the Giveth Trace end?
Yeah. Giveth Trace, the members were on vacation mostly. I rested a little by work. The biggest update is the new milestone proposing forms are launched and developed. If you drop in, they are cool. They make the creation of the milestones simpler. Yeah, that's the most update, because the edit milestone, creating milestone is the most complex form of us form in the Giveth Trace, and it's redesigned drastically, and yeah, and we use the modern component UI components and make the code simpler, refactor lots of code, and yeah, that's the biggest update. And also we had an issue about in the RingP. Our RingP server was not responsible. We upgraded that server. The Geth newest version cleaned the data, and it's about to be synced. It's few days, but it has not completed its data, and a few days later we can switch back to our server. Currently, we are using Infora endpoints for accessing the RingP events.
I think it's also worth mentioning. I think it's worth mentioning on the Giveth Trace that we're putting up a banner on the site and creating some alerts for people as they create milestones or try to collect, that we're not going to be dispersing payments that are under a certain amount for a period of time to be determined based on gas fees, because Giveth pays those gas fees. So we're asking people to have some patience with us there.
Yeah, exactly. It's important. It's under implementation. It's not finished yet, but then you are right. It's very important for users and you guys which use the application.
Super great point. Thank you so much, Amin, for all of those updates. That's awesome. You guys have a lot of progress, even considering that a lot of the team has been out this week. Okay, our new application, Giveth.io, current release is live, officially announced this past week. Before I pass the mic over to James or Mateo, whoever would like to share the updates here, I would like to name that I received some verbal, verbal feedback from the Gaia Gives team that I'm here hanging out with, and I haven't had a time to put a GitHub issue in, but I'm curious just to confirm this. They were naming their challenge. They wanted to submit feedback, but they felt challenged that the only way to submit feedback was by creating a GitHub account and putting it into GitHub, which I didn't realize. I thought maybe we also had like a submission form aspect. So that's just something to consider for our non-technical folks, maybe particularly people that are like creating projects or just, not as like crypto or development savvy, and they're just wanting to donate and give us some feedback, it would be great if we could receive that in a way that didn't require them to like create a GitHub account.
That's interesting. I received similar feedback and created a GitHub issue about that already, asking us to consider maybe an input form that we could put in front of it. And that's an example of some of the things I think we need to talk about before deciding how to proceed with it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that too, Danny, like this process you referenced, this customer, like a chat box even could be probably the best idea. But anyway, we can discuss that, I guess.
Yeah, I did make a GitHub issue for it to think about. Also, it's a great way for us to categorize the types of feedback we're receiving and to help people to think about this. Like, did something not work as expected? Or are you asking for something to be made easier or a new feature request? Like we could be asking people to name that when they submit their feedback request, and that would help us a lot in receiving it and sorting it and prioritizing.
We also, with Segment, there's a bunch of cool tools now that are built exactly for this that we can go turn on now with just a flip of a switch. So we should check that out. The communications team, I can post a link to like all the different tools we can look at. And that's great feedback. And yeah, we should leverage the awesome tools that we have in place so we can turn this type of stuff on without any additional dev work even.
This would save us a ton of, we're saying that this is going to be built based on the feedback. So we really need to make sure we're collecting the feedback in a way that allows us to make informed decisions.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to engage our customers.
And then the chat box idea is really cool too. I know we talked before about there's a Discord widget. So that's another thing we can look at.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I think that'd be cool too.
There is one that can be allowed for guests, so it can have guests. And so no login is needed, and they could just it could just open to one channel, like a support channel. Yeah, and then we could all answer and give fast answers. Might be even better. It's public though, so the next person is looking also at that chat. It's a bit different than these chat boxes. That's probably another solution.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like we could use the Discord thing for kind of like a live support, and have it go right into Discord, which is kind of the best support we can offer right now. Just whoever's around can contribute, and community members can help out. And then also, it seems like we could benefit from some sort of feedback tool. So even if you don't need support, but you have feedback, making that really easy. And yeah, I agree. We should ideally select a tool where you don't need to create an account to give feedback, make the barriers as low as we can. Thanks for sharing the feedback that we're already getting from users. It's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, I would just give a brief update then for the new Giveth donation app, basically. I mean, our 2-week sprint is coming to an end this week. On Wednesday, the new sprint starts. So we'll be finishing off like issues up until then, essentially, and would like to do some testing Monday, Tuesday, probably Tuesday, I guess, and start the new sprint on Wednesday. I mean, this week has been pretty good. Like, we've been fixing a lot of live issues, and there's still a couple outstanding. Like, yeah, there's a couple of live issues that we're working on, basically. But yeah, that's it, generally, high level. I don't know if you want to add anything, Matteo.
No, that's good.
The contents of the sprints are in ZenHub, so if you're curious.
Yeah, I thought it was so it's jumping over to the next sprint on Sunday, right? I was a bit confused because it looked like it was like today was the last day, but today's like the first day, it seems, for the other sprint, the next one.
Oh, really? It should be anyway. Okay. I
mean,
it's
automatically scheduled now if you use the sprint.
Yeah. Yeah. Any issues that are not completed get pushed over to the next sprint, I believe. Cool.
Yeah, as for ops, there was that we were not reachable for 3 hours on Thursday, I believe. because of Netlify, and it's fixed. Netlify fixed it. And one thing I picked up from the last meeting is that like we were worried that we had that one honey that went to our multisig, and did anybody mention that probably before, but it's totally possible to update a Gnosis multisig to Gnosis Safe and then use that to access the funds. It costs $100. That's what I researched so far, but that might be a possible solution. We might want to upgrade anyway.
Are you saying that we can somehow deploy a multisig at that same address?
Well, they have a button. If you go to wallet.gnosis.pm and log in to that address with your even anybody should be able to look at it.
But that wouldn't it create a new Gnosis Safe at a new address?
So it says multisig migration, so I don't know.
I'm pretty sure all it does is move all the money we have at this address to a new address on a multisig. If we wanted to somehow try to get that honey in XDAI, I think it's currently valued at about $900. We could, and thank you, Willie, for posting that link. We could try to figure out who deployed the multisig originally, and then move their key to XDAI, and then try and pray that we actually deployed the contract ourselves as opposed to using a factory. And if that works, then we could make a bunch of worthless transactions to get to the nonce to where that transaction key was deployed, and then it's like it would be quite the process, and there's probably like 7 ways that it wouldn't work if any of those things were true. So I haven't really wanted to look at it. I could if you guys really, really think that, but maybe if honey goes to like 10K or something, then it might be worth it.
It's a savings account.
I was hoping that this would just work. The contract, by the way, is by Stefan George.
They are very responsive in their Discord. If you want to just ask Gnosis if there's a quick answer. But.
Yeah, probably not worth it. But yeah, I just wanted to mention. So good, my question is answered then.
I just want to say we are very lucky that this happened to us. And losing $800 or something is not that big of a deal. And no other people's funds were lost. And thankfully, this was caught. I consider ourselves lucky. And it's a very cheap bug report.
Exactly. That's exactly how I was thinking about it, like a responsible disclosure and the amount that you would reward somebody for a responsible disclosure like this. Like, this was a serious vulnerability or bug in our app, however you want to look at it. And it would have been really bad if it could have been much worse. And so like you said, Griff, like you couldn't have asked for a better way to discover this bug. And at least it was with us. At least it was one honey. Props to everybody for catching the bug and coming up with a quick solution. And thankfully, we might see some more bugs like this, but so far, I think we're pretty lucky that this is the worst vulnerability or bug that we've seen, and we're able to fix it pretty quickly with only $800 of losses. Not bad. But yeah, it's also just a good reminder too that we're dealing with real money here, and we're in prod now, so we got to make sure that let this be a lesson to us to how bad it would be if someone tried to donate to a good project a significant amount and it got lost. That could be devastating, especially for our reputation. Not only would it be terrible for the project and the donor, but it could be devastating to our reputation. So glad that we had this happen. Honestly, let's look at the bright side and make sure that we are learning from it.
Seriously. It's so good to get hacked and realize or something like this, to lose money and then feel like, oh shit, hey, guess what, this is real. Like this happens to every user when they get scammed or get hacked, and then they're like, oh yeah, keys are important, this kind of stuff, or they lose their keys, and then it's like, okay, now you've been initiated. Congratulations, you've been initiated into working in crypto and having live dApps that people play with. And the good news, I just looked it up, and Jordy did deploy this multi-sig, so we could probably rescue these funds if it ever becomes worth it.
Another question: is it possible? Is it probably worth looking into making a safe for us to receive donations in the future, or should we stay with that multi-sig then?
What is the address?
ETH, and it's sorry.
Sorry, what were you saying, Willie?
Go ahead. Because we use give.eth everywhere now, and it's pointing to that contract, and it will also in the future not receive XDAI funds.
Yeah, great question. I was going to ask which, I'd asked this earlier on the dev call before you joined, Griff, but what address are we using now? And I think, yeah, it's a good question, Kai. Like, which address should we be using, and how should we tie the DNS or the ENS name to that address?
So the nice thing is with ENS, it only works on one chain, mainnet. Unless, well, it works on other chains, but you'd have to go register that domain on those other chains. So we could register give.eth on XDAI and then have it point to a different address, right? And then if they're on the XDAI network in MetaMask or whatever wallet, then it will ask the ENS on that network what the address should be. No one does that. I haven't seen a single person. I've never seen a project register anything on these other chains besides like projects that were doing that very specifically for that. Like OneHive, every DAO has a name and an ENS domain on XDAI, but like these are like the exceptions that prove the rule. So, and as far as what address are we using, I made one as sort of an emergency. It's just on my MetaMask, and it's like starts with 0x6. I made it in that moment and sent it to James, and he quickly put it in. But I'd be totally down to make a new multi-sig and start a full new thing. That might be a good way. Though the big problem is that it's not easy to create a multi-sig on both chains right now. All the old Gnosis safes were like deployed, and that were deployed on mainnet. They emergency gave everyone one on XDAI, but doing that as a new user is not. There's no front end. There's no easy way to do that. With our social connections, we could cash in a favor and make it happen, of course, but I don't know if it's worth it.
All right. If we ever want, I think I have a couple of old ones.
You have some old Gnosis multi-sigs?
I mean, yeah, from projects like NonCon has one, Interspace has one. Yeah, I used Interspace one, but NonCon
That's a really good point. If anyone made a Gnosis multi-sig on mainnet in 2019, we could just, or 2020 really, we could just take it over.
So I'll have a look if I find a good one that I control.
Awesome. I think that's the best solution I've heard. Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What if, is there a way too that would make the DAO like a signer on that? Yeah, cool.
Well, not on the other chain though.
Not on mainnet. Yeah. Because our guys on XDAI, our DAO's on XDAI.
Yeah.
Cool. Because then we still have to figure out the signer question and stuff. Probably want to secure that, which is something we can tackle on the governance, maybe the governance call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just noticing we're at the top of the hour.
Perfect
And,
time.
Yep. I'll put that up on the governance thing for our agenda tomorrow. After this call is our meme party. There's only one other thing I see on the agenda worth just checking in with. James, you were going to follow up with the sand clock folks. Have you had a chance to do that? Is there something I can do to help?
So my understanding of this, and I was chatting to Kai about this, is that actually this is a contract that is deployed on XDAI and mainnet, and so therefore there's nothing to do. But yeah,
okay,
that's right, Kai. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if I look in the block explorer, it says no sysave on XDAI on that address in the contract. So
I see the same. Yeah, I'm just making.
I would be very
surprised. Yeah.
So nothing to do means they can do this very easily, and I should get back to them and let them know, or?
Well, I mean, they should be able to receive donations at that address, is my understanding. I mean,
so we just need to give them an address. That's all they need.
Yeah, I mean, like, guys, help me out here. Like, they have the same address on mainnet and XDAI. They, as far as I understand, can receive donations on both networks at that address, and so therefore there should be no action that needs to be taken by us or them right now.
That's right. I think are we talking about there's the Handshake project, but I think this
is one project that had a contract wallet, and this we made sure that it's on XDAI and mainnet, and so therefore it should be fine.
That's awesome. I think Danny's asking about this project that was interested in donating some of their protocol fees or something to Giveth. So I think we're getting wires crossed.
Oh, sorry.
But Danny,
okay.
Yeah. You have any update on this?
Yeah, this is Cristiano with Sand Clock, and they're leveraging DeFi, create vaults. They just want to integrate Giveth, but he thought they'd have to create a wrapper or something to distribute to projects on our platform.
Aha, yes, now I know what you're talking about. We spoke about this last week.
Yeah. So I just wanted to check in on it.
I mean, did you connect us? Or?
No, he's talking to us right here. I don't know. I think I'm still sharing my screen. So he's speaking with us on the Giveth channel. So what I can do is just click reply on here.
Okay, sorry, I'll have a look at that now.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm just trying to follow up on all the different, I've got a lot of messages from various people that are excited about playing with us at Giveth, and I don't want to drop them.
Totally.
Sweet. Okay. Forrest, anything else you want to cover on the community agenda before we switch over to memes?
No, I think that covers it. The piece on partnerships, I pasted in from our last meeting here. I just left it just in case people want to stay abreast of cool projects that they can donate to and support and kind of spread the word. So yeah, thanks so much everyone for your time and all the praise and excitement, and yeah, let's just keep the ball rolling and the momentum going. So yeah, if you would like to join our meme party, there is a calendar invite for it. It's also on the Giveth calendar, and it's in our communications breakout room. Or actually, let's just use the Discord channel so that we can use the music bot. I know that that's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
So we'll go over there. Thanks, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Bye.
Dog cat, come on, get